put a message in the chat box just to say who you are and where you're from. It'd be brilliant to get to know where you're joining us from today.
You can keep yourself on mute as you join as well, but we would love to see your faces if you want to take your camera off and share yourselves with us. It's a busy online meeting today, which is a fantastic start to the new year.
Brilliant. So we've got Ruth Nuttall from Buxton and Leek. Great to have you, Ruth, here. Yvonne from Marble Academy. We've got Craig. Good to have you with us, Craig. Janet is with us this morning. Janet Coates from Pivot Point. Morning, Janet. Hope you're well. Enya from Guernsey. Hi, Enya. Hope you're good. Thanks for joining us this morning. We've got Naomi from Uxbridge College. Hi, Naomi. Good to see you. So if you're joining us and you just want to pop in the chat box where you're joining us from and who you are, that'd be brilliant as well.
There's a familiar name from Plymouth.
Yeah.
City College, Plymouth.
Wow.
Lovely to have you join us as well.
I wonder who that is. We got Diego from London as well. We've got Helen from Mid Kent College. That's fantastic.
I must say, it looks like we've got quite a lot of new people here today, as well as regulars as well. But it looks like there's quite a lot of new colleges on board today, which is fantastic to see.
Is it snowing where you are, or have you escaped that so far? Just kind of put either a thumbs up or a thumbs down in the comments there. Oh, Craig, it is snowing.
Scotland, we've had snow since yesterday.
Sunny. That's from Helen. Dom, no, it's not snowing where Dom is. Diego, it's London's good so far. Janet, she's okay. That's good.
To be fair, Craig, says nothing stopped me getting in today. I think that that's one for this meeting. That's the beauty of us in this online world now. There's no excuses for not getting anywhere. Snowing in Wigan. Yeah, I've seen some pictures from that neck of the woods today. You do often get it quite bad.
And sunny
in Plymouth.
Cool. So, Nicola, shall we get started?
Yes, we will. I'll just keep admitting people as they come in because there's still quite a lot joining in the meeting room as I'm watching here. But yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, fantastic. So a very big welcome to everybody. Of course, this is the first collective online for 2024, January, obviously. And we have a fantastic lineup for you today. So just kind of looking at our agenda, we're going to have a look at some planning, because in this session, we really do want to get your feedback on what the collective is going to look like for 2024. So if you've got ideas and suggestions, and we've got a few themes that we want to run past you, then we would really love to get your feedback on that. We have two brilliant guest speakers today. We have Dom Lehane and Craig Henderson. And then we're going to be talking through the collective live. We've got some more dates, more venues, who our guest artists are, and all about the partners that we're working with and how you can get tickets for those. But before we go into today's session, if you're new joining the collective with us today, then I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Mark Raymond. I am the development manager for Barbering for the awarding body BTCT for the UK, and my colleague is
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Nicola Steinbach, and I am the Business Development Manager for hairdressing, working with the industry, with centres, with employers, with everybody across the hairdressing sector to really promote not only VTCT as a first-class awarding organisation, but really showing our connections with the industry and offering kind of lots of support to help people develop their provision.
Fantastic. So the first thing that we really want to do today is we just want to get everybody that's on the call with us just to get involved in this, because as we've always said, the Collective Online Live is a community, and the community really is about you. So we've got a few themes that we would like to kind of put by you for 2024. I hope that we can still say Happy New Year. So just looking forward for some planning, and you can either come off mute or you can put some comments into the chat box. We're looking at some specific things that we have thought about doing for the Collective Live. So we've been thinking about doing some online hairdressing and barbering demonstrations. So these wouldn't necessarily be like a full haircut or a full hair up or a full color or something like that, but it would be a hair artist or a barber coming on and talking about a technique that they're using and that they're finding successful.
I think, can I just add, the objective of introducing or considering introducing hair and barbering demonstrations is one of the key successes of the online collective over the last, well, we're over a year old now, has been about the diversity of guest speakers that we do bring. You know, today is a perfect example with both Dom and Craig, but that's always been one of our USPs, is what we bring to the community. However, we are thinking that by bringing these short, sharp demonstrations, kind of giving you a snippet of the types of things that we do on our collective lives, and then it would also help contribute towards CPD. But it's kind of an alternative to guest speakers online. So that's kind of the thought process behind that.
Brilliant. We're also looking as well at maybe running some online interactive workshops. So this is where we would put you into groups. It would be, you know, a topical subject, either in education, hairdressing or barbering or training. And we would be getting people to work together and sharing good practice within the workshops. We're also thinking as well for later on in the year of having a one-day collective members conference with workshops. So what that would look like is maybe in the summer, we haven't decided on a month. Again, it's really getting your feedback, is to having a one-day event. It would be a conference stroke workshop or workshops that people could book into. They could have CPD, so it could be things like barbering workshops, color workshops, any of those kind of subjects, and we would have that for a day. So that's another idea that we're pushing.
Can I just go back a little bit on that, because Enya has asked a question linked to the first couple of points that we talked about, which I think is really valid. So Enya has said that she loves the sound of live demos and talks. Would this be accessible for all, even if VTCT is not their awarding organisation? And is this aimed at students or lecture professionals? So the short answer is that the collective is open to everybody. We are not specific to say that you have to be with VTCT as your awarding organisation. Of course, we'd love you to be, but this is not about just being for VTCT. So the online community and the live events are all available to any awarding organisation. Playing around with the idea of the one-day conference, that would be potentially only open to VTCT awarding organisations. Who is it aimed at? So the collective online is aimed predominantly at lecturers and professionals. However, our live events are again open to everybody, if that helps make sense of it. So yeah, we are very much an inclusive community, and we do have initiatives that are for VTCT centres only, such as our apprenticeship hair and barbering and beauty surgeries, but the collective is open to everybody.
Brilliant. And then the last couple of ideas that we're looking at, and we would really appreciate your feedback, is do we do a VTCT hairdressing and barbering collective competition? So that would be things like Apprentice of the Year, maybe Level 2 Hairdresser of the Year, etc., etc. And we'd obviously be open for suggestions on categories. Looking also as well at exclusive brand partner offers. I don't know if you want to say something about that, Nicola, because that was kind of like one.
Yeah, I guess the thinking behind that was that anyone who's been on the tour with us, you'll see that we have Pivot Point with us, we have Wella with us, we have all sorts of brands working with us, and on the industry events section of here, we also always try and give exclusive offers to the community. So this was about, is there value in that? Would you like us to develop that a little bit more? That there's perhaps, I don't know, event tickets, options, products, what would it look like, kits, those types of things. Is there something that we can do using our connections, because we have some fantastic connections with the brands and the manufacturers, and also amazing other communities. I mean, you're going to hear about the How to Cut It platform shortly. Is there collaborations that you would like to see VTCT doing that were exclusive to the community that you guys could access? So yeah, that was where I was coming from with that one.
Brilliant. So can we just kind of get your feedback on some of those ideas, what you would like to see, and you can kind of come off mute if you want to do that, or if you want to kind of type into the chat box there, because we really do want to get your feedback on this, as you know, as especially this is your community, and you will shape what we do for 2024.
I'd also add is that if there's anything we've not put on there, these are just kind of headlines. There are so many things that we can do, but we very much believe in knowledge before assumption. So we might think it's a great idea to do, I don't know, exclusive brand partner offers. You guys could say, well, we're not interested in that. So, you know, knowledge before assumption, kind of getting your feedback on it. So let's see what everyone has to say. Yeah, thank you, Dom. I think that Dom says, sounds exciting, exactly what the industry needs from awarding bodies, and well done to VTCT. Yeah, thank you for that. I think that one of the things we're very keen to, when you look at Mark and I's role, you know, supporting the industry, is about showing that an awarding organisation is there at the forefront of the industry and understanding. Rebecca has said, would it be possible to do talks from employers with regards to industry expectations and job roles, etc., so students have clear ideas, not coming from tutors? That is absolutely brilliant, and definitely that is something that we're going to be, I think, diving a bit deeper with Dom today as well when we talk to him. Craig, workshops would be an amazing idea, and you'd love to help with this. Yep, we'd love to have you on board, Craig. Well, we have you on board already, but we're definitely doing practical. Tracy, practical workshops online. So yeah, that's great. We do think that there is a hunger for this type of thing, and being able to access, I think particularly because we record it and you can get it afterwards, so you can kind of follow it at your own pace, really. One of the things that Mark and I have said that we will do is in our follow-up that we do send out afterwards, we will put all of this information in and maybe kind of create a bit of a poll so that everybody in their own time can respond back to us. Pavel, good morning. How are you? Practicals would be great. Yes, thank you for that. Nice to have you join us again.
One of the things that we are really interested in as well is having like a one-day conference with workshops and also the competitions. I wonder what people's thoughts are on that. Is that something that you would attend to come as a CPD event?
If they do the online workshops, is there a way to get a certificate of attendance to show the knowledge they've gained, good for their portfolios? Yes, you can. If you want to request on our live events, we send out a digital CPD certificate for attendance, and for any online workshops that we will do, we will definitely be able to factor in giving a CPD. It will be a digital CPD certificate, but we will be able to do that for sure. We know how important that is, and also for staying relevant as well and up to date. Conferences would be great. Love the sound of the live demo.
Perfect. I think that what we'll need to do as well, as Nicola said, is we'll send out a poll. Also at the end of today's session, our last slide, we do have a follow us, which has our email, our Instagram, and our LinkedIn profiles. And if you've got anything that you'd like to share with us, particularly with who you would like to see on as guests, or something that we haven't mentioned here, then please get in contact with us, because both Nicola and I are very passionate about making this a real community where you feel in control of it as well, and that it's not just a done to model with Nicola and I kind of coming along every month and kind of serving up the agenda. We really want it to be something that's going to be very beneficial for you. So I think, Nicola, if we move on.
Yep, super. So how exciting. Time to introduce our first guest speaker of 2024. I'm sure you can all read for yourself here the bio of the industry icon, I think, and legend, which is Dom Lehane. We are so excited that Dom has taken some time out of what I can imagine is a very busy schedule to join us today. Myself and Mark started at VTCT 2 years ago this week actually, and on our first week we were shipped off to London to the Lion Barbers Collective Award, Tom Chapman's first, it was his inaugural awards ceremony, and for a fantastic cause. And we both met Dom Lehane there. And it was our first week, and Dom, you were hosting this event, and Mark and I pounced on you, pincer movement either side, I think, and we're desperate to talk to you, and desperate to kind of see how together the VTCT and Dom Lehane and the How to Cut It network and community could collaborate and could kind of work together, because you're so passionate about this industry and a kind of trailblazer in things that you do. So to have you here today, finally, literally almost 2 years to the day since we first met you in London that day. So thank you so much for joining us today.
No, well, look, thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm really honoured. And I didn't realise that you'd only been in your roles for 2 weeks. Did you say?
Yeah, we'd literally
that week,
started.
and I so remember it. You were sat down at the front there. And
that's right.
Yeah, it was great to meet you. And hey, 2 years, and what a wonderful job that you are both doing with the VTCT. Really took it to the next level. So thank you so much for inviting me. I'm honestly hugely passionate about the industry. I'm hugely passionate actually about student development as well, and how what Rebecca put actually about getting them engaged and connected in the industry is what I'm all about, really.
Yeah, so just for anyone who doesn't know kind of about you and what you're doing, and kind of just your background, do you want to just talk us through in your words? I think first of all, it's really great to say that it must be nice for you to be on the other side of interviewing, because
it's so relaxing, actually. Believe it or not, it's wonderful. I don't have to worry about setting guests up, because like a lot of things when we do our podcasts, we do them virtually as well. We use different software. But yeah, first up, I haven't always been bald. I blame Cap Highlights for maybe the loss of hair from my mum, which kind of leads me nicely in. Yes, I am a 4th generation hairdresser. My great nan had 2 salons in London back in the 20s, followed by my nan, mum. I now am in the Midlands, grew up with hairdressing, done the YTS, went to college. So yes, I am a hairdresser. That is always the thing that I need to share, because when I say that to people, Nicola, they automatically say, "Oh, what, you do hairdressing?" It's almost like I've just done this. But yes, a salon owner as well. Had a salon at its height where we had I think around about 15 team members, all went to college, always been passionate about college, always been passionate about college competitions, which I used to enter. And just hearing you talk about the competitions and getting students involved, I think is always just so exciting to test people in that way. So yes, hairdressing is something that I've done throughout my time. Then we, back in 2000 and whatever year, we decided to start put hair events on locally, which was the start of something which was called Hair Club Live. We done events locally, worked with colleges, and we brought Lee Stafford, Patrick Cameron to local events on stage, put on hair events and demos. They were amazing. Then we grew, we saw the growth of community, which is kind of hearing you both talk about this, but community was always something that I was passionate about. So with Hair Club Live, we launched our community with that around about the 2010. And then, yeah, we grew the community, launched open chair night events around the UK where we get hairdressers to come on stage, showcase themselves, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, we then get to the opportunity of setting up a podcast. So back in 2013, I was hearing about podcasts, listening to them, and then 2014, I thought we need one for the hair industry because there's nothing going on. Not like now where you tune in every TV show, everybody's got a podcast now. Back then it was a geeky thing. And then 2015, 2017, we finally launched the podcast, which became How to Cut It. We then moved on to become How to Cut It as what we are now. So we kind of moved away from Hair Club Live, and we're kind of getting to where we want to be again. And that is a really passionate community that's all about bringing everything together. It's about joining the dots for everyone, you know, in the industry, VTCT, brands, but also at the heart of it, hair professionals. I think that's what it's about for me. And, you know, in platform, our community, that's what we really want to be doing now. Taking control and connecting people and bringing us all together.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, looking back, 2017 feels like a lifetime ago when you're talking about podcasts, because you're right, it's such a kind of, they're everywhere now. One of the things I guess that it really has done, and the work that you've done, is really kind of highlight how diverse a career in hairdressing is. Because if you look at the types of guests that you have now on your podcast, the world's your oyster in hairdressing, and our audience today are all teaching staff. They're all involved in some capacity of shaping the future of our industry. And I think that looking at what a career in the industry looks like now, how would you kind of see the changes, and talking to these teaching staff about how do we help build the resilience in the young people today and make them see what a great career it is?
Yeah, well, that is my big passion, as saying, and going back to Rebecca. Look, the industry we know has changed, and the big reason of that is because we all have phones in our hands. There's no getting away from it. As soon as we got phones in our hands and then apps came into the world, suddenly we could access so much content, whether that be social media, joining online lives, whatever that would be. So young people have been given this opportunity of just getting excited about so many things, but it's about now getting them connected into the industry, and actually what does our industry look like in 2024? Well, I think it's hugely exciting. Yes, there's a lot of different noises depending on who you talk to, and you know, we're not going to go into that. Self-employed, the industry is about opportunities, and I think that that's the big thing that we have to share with young people. So it's actually getting in front of young people and saying, look, this is a cool industry that, one, let's be totally honest, there are so many pathways for starters, and I'm not talking about just working on a cruise liner and the film industry and session stylists, all great, but you can now be a content creator. And I think what's really important for them to understand is that they can work behind the chair, because that's where the bread and butter is. We all know that, and they have to understand that. But actually, this whole platform of social gives them opportunities to break into little niches and to pivot. So I always think at the heart of what we do in the industry is behind that chair, but knowing that you can also do other things as well, but create your own brand, your own identity. I mean, that's super sexy stuff. And that super sexy is what Gen Z need to hear. And there are so many names out there in our industry right now that are just so incredible. And if they can't get the industry and young people engaged in it, then I don't know what will. So actually, we've never been in a better place. You know, certainly, you know, we have lecturers here to actually tell them and get them engaged on what's going on in the industry. That's your job. That's what you've got to be doing. You've got to be telling them, look, let's look at this. Let's look at that. It will get you excited for starters, but that's the thing that comes through in the podcast. So from back then in 2017, when we launched with Tom Connell, the industry looked very different back then. But now in 2024, we've got the rise of content hair creators. We've got the rise of educators. And you know, that is what we need to connect them with. But then the reality, look, become the best hairdresser you can. And the thing that comes through most, Nicola, is they can earn great money. And we've got to start to educate young people at the very start that you've got to throw yourself into this, like become the best, become a specialist in your area of what you do. And you could charge premium money now. People want to pay premium money. I know times are tough, but people can pay premium money for something that just gives them good. So if young people understand that they learn their craft, don't run too quickly. It's like everything, isn't it? Learn your craft 5 years or so, 6 years, whatever that may be. But then you can really go off and take your career in a direction that not many other careers can give you.
And I think you touched on a really valid point there about learning your craft. And I think there's a kind of disconnect sometimes that we have to work really hard to bridge between this new generation of content creators and how you become a content creator and the skill set that you need to be able to do that, because, you know, there is no getting away from it. You learn to become a hairdresser or a barber through learning basic to complex skills. There's a reason it takes 2 years to do an apprenticeship before you sit your endpoint assessment. There, you know, so I think.
But we're battling, Nicola, and you know, sorry, I'm jumping in there, but we're battling YouTube. And
yeah,
we can all talk about this as much as we like. And it's a conversation that I get in every podcast. With certainly salon owners, you know, and you know, had the pleasure to interview Kosakis recently, and
yeah,
you know, the struggles that they have of bringing apprentices in to the industry, and they're having to look at ways of reinventing it. Can we shorten it down? Can we? But we want 2 years, but we have got to start to listen to this Gen Z. How are we going to do this in a way that is going to get them as good as they can, excited? Because you know as well, and Mark knows, and we all know, that we've got to keep them. I actually think people come into the industry, but we've got to keep them in the industry. We've got to get them through 2 years. So how are we going to get them through 2 years? And I think what you just were talking about with all the different demos, collectives, conferences, that is going to really, really help. So I think it's the duty of us all to make our industry really special. And that 2 years, you know, you start getting them down with coursework, and I'm not touching it. So I appreciate it has to be done because that's set through awarding bodies, but we've got to get them hands on. We've got to get them learning about this career pathway, because that's going to reward us all. And it's going to reward young people at the heart of it, because that for me is where the thing is. And we've got to get them in and kept in this industry.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, that you talked about, first of all, without giving our ages away, I also did a YTS. So for anyone who doesn't know what that is, that's the precursor to an apprenticeship. That was a youth training scheme. I did mine in 1988. And
I think you have you down for that age, Nicola. I've got to say.
Thank you. But yeah, it's and we talked, you know, you talked about the industry icons that you've kind of had the opportunity that you've brought on board over the years, that you've worked with collaboratively and showcased. But again, now doesn't matter where you live in the country or what type of hairdressing or barbering you're into, you really can access your kind of mentors or inspiration, can't you? There's so much choice out there. So going back to the teaching staff, I think it's about having that awareness of who is inspired. What we've tried to do certainly with the collective lives is kind of not, you know, focus on really diverse types of guest artists, local to communities, local to the areas, specializing in different things, because lots of different young people now aspire to different types of people that perhaps we did. We might have had one industry icon that we all looked up to. I'm going to use Patrick Cameron. He still is an industry icon. but the average 16 to 18-year-old today that's entering the industry may not even know who Patrick Cameron is, may not read Hairdresser's Journal. How do they stay relevant, and how do we kind of get connected across all the different types of people that we've got out there?
Yeah, and I hear you, and I admire Patrick Cameron incredibly, but we now have to start to think about that generation below Patrick Cameron, below Trevor Sorbie, Anthony Mascolo. I think there's a new generation that are going to connect more with this generation, and I think that that's where we've got to become, because I think we all become in a place where we remember our days and they're brilliant, but we've got to find ways that they're going to have people that are going to be their role models, and that they are out there, but they're being formed as we speak. So I always say we've got to look for those future stars, and I look to people like Jordana Cabela.
Yeah,
you know, these people, Connor name block, Stage Studios, Samantha Kuzik. These people are that generation that are really going to connect. Heffy Wheeler. They are this, and they're what I call this content hair creators, and they're doing hair completely different, maybe, to what we remember, Nicola, because I was 1986 when I went on the YTS. Also, what we have to remember is we all like to think that young people are engaged in the industry, and all they're doing is sitting on their phone, looking at hair, looking at all this content, looking at all these courses. But sadly, they're not. They're probably like my 19-year-old son. They're on TikTok. They are communicating through Snapchat. So their interference we have more content than ever before, but that's probably at the detriment of our industry, because I have so many places to turn and to get, I'll have a quick look on this. We're controlled by algorithms as well. So we're all fed into the world of Instagram, TikTok, and they will be picking out all our algorithm. Your algorithm, Nicola, will be totally different to mine. Mark, yours will be different. So you can imagine a 16-year-old, their algorithm, what they're being fed by Instagram is going to be very, very different. So how are we going to get their attention and get them seeing this stuff that we all know that exists? And I think we have to think creatively, like what you're doing with VTCT, bringing them into a hub, but what's going to make them come in? Because, they get bored quickly and they're moving quickly. They're not sitting on a post for 10 minutes. They literally are. We all see how we scroll, don't we? We're and click on it. Yeah. So that's how we've got to be thinking.
Yeah, and I'm sure that this sentiment will be very relatable to all of the people that are online today, how difficult it is to keep learners engaged in the learning process because of this short attention span. They spend 3 seconds. We had Emil McMahon on, who talked a lot about the Generation Z, and the average scrolling time is 3 seconds on a post. So imagine trying to be a passionate hairdressing teacher, trying to teach colour theory to learners who are kind of like, what's next? Where are we going next?
Everybody that's here, though, Nicola, is telling me that they're passionate.
Yeah, and exactly.
People that are going to watch this recording is telling me they're passionate. If you are teaching young people, you owe it to young people to be passionate. And whether we like that or not, you need to be passionate. And if you can't get excited in the industry, I'd like to ask every learner, you should be knowing what's happening in the industry. You should be able to wheel off these names. What are the look? What are the trends? Where are we going? How's the industry? And you can do that. There's no excuse not to. So we can say this about young people, but, as equally senior, more experienced people in the industry should be doing that too. And equally, there's a senior group of people out there who are just getting involved in the industry right now. People like Jacqueline Hurst, who comes into my mind, platform member. Yeah, a lady, who's probably came through the YTS herself, but is throwing herself into the industry now. So even as lecturers, should we be looking at, are there people that have come out of our industry and we could get them connected in, get back into college, learning? We've got to stop thinking of the obvious. I feel sometimes as an industry, we're so all thinking the same, like we're being innovative and we're just following. There's so many sheep. We've got to be doing things differently and rip up the rule book. If it's not working, or we need to move it forward and bring in more apprentices. How are we going to do this? Sorry, I'm going on my soapbox here.
No, it's fine.
Quite nice to, as
so it's this is this passion that you are kind of emitting there is exactly kind of why you're constantly evolving in this industry. So you touched very briefly there on platform. So let's kind of dive into platform. Let's kind of tell us, what is it? What have you created?
So platform was born out of me coming back to my community. So the podcast was what it's all about, but ultimately it's a hub, a network that's away from social media. All right. Now, I love social media. We all love, but the problem is with social media, it's fed algorithms. It's fed how it works. It's fed what we see. We have a Facebook group, 21,000 followers. I get frustrated by the lack of engagement coming into that. And I think anybody, I know Simon Townley well of Hair Social and Andrew Dunn, you know, Weller's got a great one, but so much of this is just people not getting connected in there. So we want a hub, a networking hub that brings hair professionals, students of all levels, lecturers, whoever that may be, into this hub. And what makes this different? So it's completely away from social media. We have an app. You have to download that, and we have a space. And maybe can I just quickly do a screen share if it works, and stop me if time is running over? Then just
no, you're okay. I'm
quickly,
I'm keeping an eye on your time.
Yeah, cool. Make sure I share the right screen here. So 1 second, and I'll do it from my phone if that's okay. If it's on there, is it on there? Is it going to allow me? I'll do it. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
Right. There. We can see you.
Cool. Right. So what you're looking at effectively is the app of it. It's on a browser and it's on an app. When you look at that, you think, well, okay, there's a lot of information in there. You know, what's all these be? But what you're looking at are what we call spaces. So everything is in these different. So you look at it, you're in a foyer, you've entered into the house, you've got member center, start here. So you just click into all these different places. We show you around, newbie adventure, live events. So we do live events. We have one going tonight, How to Cut It platform, where we bring people together. You get shout outs on here. So nothing like what you'll get on a Facebook community. It's jobs. We've literally just launched this one for our pro members. So we've got an announcement tonight. They can put in seeking opportunities, jobs, whatever that may be, hair directory. You've got our educators in here. These are all members, by the way. So they're all putting in their content. And then you've got the posting playground. Well, that's what it says. Again, it's there, Community Central. This is where the community hub is. Everything's simply explained, how to use this space, what not to do, what not to spam, all that content. And then work down, post your hair pic. So if you just want to simply post a hair picture, there you go. You can just post those quickly and easy, hair videos. You know, look, it explains itself. And then you've got pro members hangout, you've got pro members VIP zones, how to submit. Then you've got the insights. So these are the kind of rooms where, okay, I want to learn about coloring. Well, I'll go into the color studio. So here we've got some color stuff going on. Members can post in here, or pro members can post. Styling den, cutting loft, hair care sanctuary, curly circle. I think they all explain themselves. And then what we've got are private groups, and we're going to be setting one up for students as we've got a big rollout of new things going to be happening. I'll give it an exclusive here any moment soon. But these groups are private groups. So yeah, that's kind of what you're looking at with this community. So we're talking about a community that's not just a feed of posts. This is separated into places where you want to get involved in there. So that's what I'll stop the screen share there now. Yeah, so that's what we've got going on in there. Now, it was purely a paid model, but we are now going to be opening this up as a free to join model, but there'll be the perks of pro membership too. So because what we want to do is I want to bring younger people in to the space. Sorry, Mark, I should have given you a heads up. I was going to stop the screen share there.
I think you've got your camera off, Dom, as well, now that you've been sharing. I think so.
Let's have a look, see what's going on there. Is it doing sync? That might be a good thing for people, to be fair.
Not at all.
I have no idea why. Yeah, the video, is it showing? Yeah, it should be showing still. So, yeah, I don't know why. Let me try. See if we get us back in there. No, I don't know what's happened on that. But anyway, I'll talk because that's what I do.
Yeah, no problem.
If that's okay. But yeah, look, that's what it's all about. The links are there. So we're making it free for people to join, and that's going to be opening up now. So we have some links there. If you want to become a free member, you'll get limited access to space, but you can post and share all that stuff. But we are now got the pro membership as well. And the pro membership, Nicola, you are a pro member, which is going to give you more access. We've got lives, demonstrations, live streams. We have sofa sessions going on there. We've got hair demos, master classes, and we're going to be launching courses in there too. But we want to work with people like VTCT to sort of be part of these sort of as well, because as I say, I want one network, one hub, but this is about our career, because I want everybody in the industry to know about what is our career and opportunities available for us hair professionals. And that's what How to Cut It really represents. We're a network about all of this.
Yeah, I mean, as a member, and I'm not non-biased here, but I've been a member, I think, since you launched. I applied to get in your 100 founder club. So it is, I find it really, really useful because of the diversity of different things I can tap in and out of. And also I do like the fact that I've just got the app on my phone. So I kind of have found it really useful. I have used it to help me kind of when I've been looking for guest artists for inspiration, to share news on what we're doing. So yeah, I love it, and I think it's really great that you're offering a free version of it as well. I think particularly if you're looking to engage that kind of wider network of
and it's safely managed, Nicola. This is not a Facebook. We have so many where the honestly, it's horrendous what I see. People attacking people's work. This is managed constantly. So I want to get students in here, and I want lecturers to realize that this is going to be a safe space for them. I have no idea where I've disappeared to there, but but I want this to be a really safe place and an inclusive place. But if you can't, you don't want to immerse yourself into everything that pro membership's got, you've got free membership there now, and that has just been announced to you. So I haven't even announced this to the community, which we're doing in a live tonight.
Amazing. And am I okay to say that this information has been shared with this community, so everybody who has registered for this will get this link as well?
Yeah, so that you've got the free link. I don't know, have you just shared that link? I may have it myself. I can
Mark's put it in the chat. Yeah.
So the long one is your free link. So I'll put that in again.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's your free link. It's a bit of a messy one. So just click on that, you create a profile, create your name, in you go, and you'll get access to it. The first thing I would always say to everybody is go and download the app as well as soon as you can, which you get from your app store. You have to, at the moment, is currently done through Circle, which is the software that we use. So you have to go to Circle Communities, download that for iOS or Android, log in with your details on your app. So that'll be your email and password. And you go in, and it's honestly, it's seamless. It's quick. It's easy. You will love being a part of this. And over time, we want to bring in, I know Janet's here as well. And, we've got ideas there with Pivot Point, maybe to see people like VTCT come in as well. So we're just going to be a network hub that kind of boom, and off you go. You're really engaged. You're networking. But what is the most special part of all of this is truthfully the friendships that are starting to be built through networking. And that's easy talk. But the networking is bringing that in, and we're seeing members getting together. And we were at Salon International. Our members were on stage at Salon International on the Platform Live stage, and we're going to be introducing connected meetups locally very soon, which is just going to hand that to our members. You want to just get together with 2, 3, 4 people, 15, 20 people, then we're going to be doing that too.
Well, Dom, that has been a very brief insight from you, but really, really super, super interesting. It's been a real pleasure having you join us today on the community. You're definitely the master of developing communities. We hope to emulate even partial your success with this. And yeah, it's been really great hearing from you. So thank you so much for joining us today. If anyone does have any, we've kind of gone over time a little bit. I'm conscious that Craig is patiently waiting, but if anyone does have any final questions for Dom, please just feel free to drop them in the chat and I will ask them very quickly.
And I am still here.
Yeah, you are still here. You're just a darker screen.
So we've got Kate there.
Yeah, hi Kate. Yeah, Kate does a brilliant podcast herself, a podcaster with around hair care, hair loss. Kate, it'd be great to get you to come in. Actually, I think to get your expertise on that subject would be wonderful.
Janet says thank you, Dom.
Good. I'm looking forward to talking to you later, Janet.
Yeah.
Super.
Nicola,
Okay. Thank you
thank you.
very much then, Dom. And we hope to see you again soon. And I will hand us back over to Mark. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And Dom, that was absolutely excellent, and some really thoughtful points there, that particularly that kind of being passionate with our learners as well. That is so important. So it's my pleasure to invite our next guest. And I was on Craig's first workshop last night, and I've got to say I was absolutely blown away with it. And hopefully I've got questions for Craig today, but Craig, I am going to ask you to talk us through a little bit some of your workshop, because what you've put together is as a real learning resource, and I know it's going to be very exciting. So just a little bit of background. Craig is known as the neurodivergent barber. He's based in Bolton, has a barber shop there, and really is kind of well known. In fact, just before Christmas, I think it was, Craig, or at the beginning of the new year, you were featured in the Sunday Times. So
the Sunday Times on New Year's Eve, I made the alternative honours list for 2023, sorry, which is a massive accolade.
Yeah, absolutely, and well deserved as well.
So it was a bit of a shock one. I thought it was a scam, but hey ho, it wasn't. So considering the email I got were very vague, and all they said they wanted a picture of me and wouldn't give me any more information. They said they're doing a community piece. Can we get your picture? I asked for a reply saying what's it about so you can get the information correct about myself. And they said no. And that was it. I'm like, oh, right. And then I asked again and they said, well, it's out tomorrow. So I went and bought the paper and there it were.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So Craig, I'm just going to kind of talk you through a few questions.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
And we can talk about neurodiversity and how, you know, you really have been a champion of this. But I mean, in your kind of own words, what would you say neurodiversity means to you?
It means a very interesting thing, because like there's a lot of people insinuate it with autism, because that's quite prevalent within the industry. Thanks to James, who set up Autism Barbers Assemble, and he did a really good movement with that. And I think it's gone to the way, like Bayside now, that charity, what he did. But I pretty much cover everyone in the community, from like paraplegics, Down syndrome, ADHD, Fragile X syndrome, Pica. There's loads of different neurodiversity, even mental health with like the Lion stuff. That's a neurodiversity because it affects like the brain pattern and how they feel that day. Because if you come in with someone with manic depression and they're on a high and they want a new style, and then you go on a law because they don't like the new style, but it's a serious law then. So you've got to know how to help your customers in these moments of time, no matter what neurodiversity is and what they're struggling with.
So what was it that kind of motivated you then to become an advocate for inclusivity, and particularly within the barbering industry?
Well, my son's a massive help because he struggles with STPD. He taught me quite a bit about how to work with the sensory side of things. But all the other stuff come naturally from working. I go into a special secondary school where it covers all neurodivergence. So I've worked with all the different ones, from like Down syndrome, paraplegics, like I've mentioned. I've got a few who are bedbound, some are like permanently in wheelchairs, and it opened my eyes to a lot more like what's out there. And they're part of our community, and they get judged daily because they can't get a haircut because of the things are not there and adapted for them within salon life. But if I can make that little bit of difference to them and make them feel a bit more normal, as we're saying, quoted money is, it makes them feel a lot better. And we all know having a haircut improves our mental health, and it makes us feel a lot better. So if you want to, I'm a firm believer that we should serve everyone in the community because they are part of that community, no matter who they are and what backgrounds they've got.
So what would you say are some of the challenges particularly for clients with neurodiversity in kind of accessing, like, you know, traditional barbering and hairdressing services?
A lot of it is understanding, people not being understanding of the needs or accommodations, like as simple as like someone in a wheelchair not having a wheelchair ramp, or moving your barber chair or hairdressing chair to one side slightly, so you can fit the wheelchair in, like doing an autistic cloud on the floor and we're in a gown. Just making them small little adaptations can make a massive difference to them, and just giving them that understanding. And time is the biggest thing. Time's the biggest with all of it. It's just giving that extra bit of time. And we understand in this industry, time's money. It really is. But giving that extra 15 minutes to make a difference to this person's life is massive, because 9 times out of 10, because you've worked with them and give them that extra time, they'll be a client for life. And that's what we return. That's what we want. We want client retention.
Yeah.
And not client retention and someone struggling with additional needs because they need that comfort.
So at your barbershop, Craig, how have you kind of included that inclusivity and that kind of welcoming environment for those in your community? Can you kind of talk us through some of the things that you've done and the challenges that you've had?
Well, I've got an access ramp now so I got wheelchair users coming in freely. It was a struggle in the past, and so I've got an access ramp now. I've just kept it as neutral as possible, so it's not overwhelming. Like the music's not overload and like really loud. It's just chilled. It's mellowed. I've got a little corner set up with toys, just so the kids can play and distract themselves with ones for like ADHD and autism and Fragile X syndrome, and just having just a nice, calming environment, not being like a loud rave party atmosphere 24/7 like some salons can be. But that all comes from education, working with your peers, just talking to your staff, going, "Oh, I've got a customer who's neurodivergent. Can you just keep it down a bit?" And then they can educate customers as well.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned as well in your workshop last night, right? Because you said about some cards.
Yeah, the pet cards. I've worked with a children's illustrator to develop her industry pet cards. So these pet cards will talk through the journey for a non-verbal autistic child or a non-verbal adult and the deaf community. So they can point to what they want, or I can point to illiterate what's going to happen. So we can use them as a now and next, or we can use them. They can use it to create the haircut service, because it's got all the feelings in, so they can tell me how they're feeling. So I can incorporate my mental health training I've had for the lines into it as well. So if they're feeling sad, I can go, well, they might need to reach out to someone. So where do I signpost next after that? And then they've got all like the scissors, the combs, the clippers, the straighteners, the backwash chair, do I want it front washed, do I want it backwashed? I thought literally everything's covered, even the numbers 0 to 8, including 0.5 and 1.5. So they can point to the clipper number they want without any difficulty. And if that's for a child, they can eventually build their own haircut service consultation without being verbal. So it just gives them an opportunity to have a voice, which they don't have.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. And I know that you've been a brand ambassador for example, like the Clipper Company, Gamma, and you've done a kind of a lot of educational work as well. I mean, how would you say brands can kind of promote this kind of inclusivity in the hairdressing and the barbering industry?
I think it's a difficult one, because people don't really know how to approach it, because it's so vast, the neurodivergent community. But the best thing I can recommend, because Purple Tuesday every year in November, there's a massive movement for the disabled community, like worldwide, and how much money is lost within the disabled community, not serving the disabled community. I think it's like 1.6 billion lost worldwide because we don't serve people in the disabled community, and that's going for all businesses. And if that's a small percent of the hairdressing industry, that's a lot of money being lost on these valuable customers. So if they're signed up to Purple Tuesday, they give a lot of valuable resources of what to do and how to implement within your business. And that could go for brands and businesses, how they can make it better for themselves to make it a little bit more inclusive.
Yeah. So obviously, Craig, we've got a lot of lecturers and educators that are on the collective online this morning. So what kind of advice, tips would you give to them to kind of really make sure that their services, in their salons and their training of their apprentices and their students, to kind of make it more accessible to clients with diverse needs?
It's more getting them ready for it, because it's not touched on within the hair industry. We do like customer service unit, but there's nothing really elaborated from above that. Like what type of clients would you face and what challenges you would face. Yeah, your tutor might touch on it being a disgruntled customer and stuff like that, but will they touch about the additional need aspect of it and even the mental health side of it that matter? So, and I think that's moving forward with the Lions, and it's going well with that. But we know clients struggle with the mental health, we know that, but I think we need to make them aware of what other people are in the community and what you're going to face daily. Because if you get an autistic customer and who's not cooperating because you are a stranger and you're running towards them with a pair of scissors, we're not running, but they're going to freak out and they're going to lash out 9 times out of 10. And if they hit you, it's going to take you back a bit. But if you're briefly educated about that, what's going to happen in this situation when you walk into this industry, because it's an emergence industry, like Dom said, it's so creative. There's a lot going on at the minute. It's incredible to see where this industry is going at the minute. But we forget about the other side, like this side, what I do, what people don't want to know about. They want to see the glamorous side, like the catwalks and the competitions and all the hair shows and all the stuff like that. So if I can do my bit now and be an advocate and raise awareness, like you said, be a champion for it and show people this is what's in the industry, and I can give them the resources to help, I will do, because I firmly believe we all should serve everybody in the community.
I know this wasn't necessarily one of the questions that we kind of talked about, Craig, but with your workshop that you had last night, one of the things that I thought was really excellent was that you had some very interesting case studies which you were kind of putting to the participants. Would you like to share one of those with us and kind of then talk us through how you've kind of, you know, worked through those types of situations in a practical way?
Yeah, let's see if we can get it up for you, Dom. So that's why I just moved to my laptop. So just give me a second.
You want me to stop sharing, Craig, or?
No, you'll be all right. I'm just going into a drive now, getting it out. Should be in here somewhere. Sorry about that. We're getting the. It's just downloading it now. Sorry about this. Just decided to log in. Right.
So this is one of the case studies that you had in your workshop last night, wasn't it? I thought it would be good to share it, Craig, because it just shows.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. It's just getting it all up now. If we can get it up with lovely technical difficulties.
If not, don't worry, we'll come back to it.
I've got it. I'm gonna try and do it this way. Oh. Sorry about this. Right. I think. Right, being silly. It's being silly.
Okay, Craig, don't worry about it. We'll come back to that. But I was just, you had some kind of case studies. I mean, can you think of any kind of experiences in your shop that you've kind of had to deal with, and maybe talk us through how you've dealt with that?
The quite common one quite happens is like the younger ones being more violent and more aggressive towards me. And that's how we usually do it, because that's when they're running like overload, a sensory overload, because it's a new environment. And there's a lot of new smells, there's a lot of new noises, there's a lot of new situations going on for them. So in moments like that, it's giving them decompression time where they can just relax, chill out, and just decompress, and then revisit it, and then slowly introduce yourself and take time to know them, work at their level, instead of being overbearing and on top of them, and just sit down with them and talk to them. They might be non-verbal, but you can still talk to them and engage with them. So that's probably one of the best, quite common situations you're probably going to face during this, because you will get a lot of autistic customers, but as soon as you advertise, you'll cover everybody because you've got the facilities to do that. You might be able to get you'll get more customers coming in and you'll get more challenges coming along the way, but you'll learn how to work with these challenges because each one will teach you different techniques to work with the next one. Because they've all got similarities. They're all different, but they've all got similarities. So, which is really good. So you're always going to be learning on this journey, and it's going to be a rewarding journey. It's going to be an absolutely incredible journey. You go on like working with the neurodivergent community because they're just incredible human beings. I love working with them. Like I get excited seeing someone in my diary some days thinking because I know what they're like because they've come from me not talking, being non-verbal to talking to me. And it's nice for them to say bye and things like that. So it's an amazing journey. It's an absolutely incredible journey. I really do love it.
Brilliant. Can you tell us, just to finish off then, Craig, a little bit about your workshop? Because as I say, you did the first one live last night, and it was really, really good. And I think it'd be fantastic for you to obviously work with colleges and training providers. Can you just give us a brief overview of what the workshop is and what people will get from it?
So my workshop is based around working with the neurodivergent community. So it's going through what is a neurodivergent and what problems they face coming into a salon. And like you said, I've done 5 case studies, and it gives you a scenario like what we do, and then I give you my opinion of what I'd do in that situation. And it's giving you the knowledges of different like moments of what they go through from the sensory seeking side of things to them being loud to self-inducing behaviors, and knowing what to do in these situations when you have this customer shop and how you can accommodate your salon, your college, because we do have people coming into the college and things like that. It just gives you a good, nice overview, but still very concise, but not too heavy. So you've just got enough knowledge to start doing it at yourself. And then I'll always be there on hand for support afterwards. So if they wanted to drop me a message afterwards and say, right, I've had this customer today, the parents are insisting to restrain them, how would I deal with this situation? How do I approach the parent or the caregiver? I'll happy to be there for them to give them a little bit of advice when they needed. And eventually, one day, if this course gets bigger and bigger, maybe I do get ambassadors and I do get people who can deliver the education as well. And then there's a point of call for them as well. They can go to that person. And hopefully, maybe accredit salons, I don't know, accredit colleges. It could go anywhere, this. And hopefully it grows big and gets more notice and gets more noise and gets more awareness, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, to be honest, that will happen. Okay, Craig, that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Literally, just before you go, I'm just going to pop out. Has anybody got any questions for Craig? We will be putting his contact details out when we send out the details for today's online collective. But has anybody got any questions, anything that they would like to ask Craig before we move on? So Dom says there, thank you, Craig, inspiring work. That's very true. Yeah. Cool. Okay, Craig. We will, as I say, we will put your details out there. Nicola says absolutely brilliant work, Craig, and amazing to see this and very much needed. That's Steve Churcher there. Fantastic. Okay, great. Big thank you once again to Dom and Craig as our guests this morning. I hope that you really feel that you benefited from both of their inputs this morning. And we're getting some comments coming in. Wendy from Plymouth says, thank you, Craig. Great work. Amazing work. Thank you, Jackie Chatterton there. Okay, so moving on to our VTCT lives. And we have our next one, which is at Oaklands College. That is on the 24th of January. So that's literally in the next couple of weeks. And Nicola, do you want to kind of talk us through that?
Yeah,
event?
so it's a week tomorrow. We are in Oaklands College and we have two fantastic guest artists. We have Kerry Galliano. So Kerry Galliano is the art director for the We Love brand. So you may have saw her or heard of her through the work that she's doing with Ray Palmer and We Love and the Purple Hearts Club. She recently performed on stage for us at Salon International. Fantastic talent, really creative stylist. So she will be doing the hairdressing demonstration. And then we have returning to the tour with us, we have Jack Gunner. And what a talent this guy is. I think Mark would echo that sentiment. I think is he 20s, very early 20s. That his age is irrelevant. I don't mean that in the sense of he is just super talented. He can really command an educational audience. His work is fabulous, really current and on trend, but also a great educator. If anyone is in and around that area, we have about 15 tickets still available for the Oaklands one. So please visit the Eventbrite page to get on and get those final places booked. And remember, you can bring your students along to all of the VTCT collective lives. And going back to the question earlier, if you are not a VTCT centre, you can still come along to the event. So yeah, love to see you there.
And we've also got a new date added. And this is on the 20th of February, and this is at East Sussex College. And the timing, again, as the same of all our collectives, is from 12:30 to 4 p.m. And we will be putting more details about who our guest artists are for that event. But Nicola, did you want to kind of talk about the Leeds event at all?
Yeah, so just a couple of things. So the East Sussex College is at the Lewis campus. And oh, there you go, Mark's in there with it already to get booked on for that one. And also we have coming up, if you're already booked on it, we have the 31st of January, we are at West Row Academy in Leeds. Hot off the press, we have a very special guest artist, she'll kill me for that, guest presenter on that event. We're going to be joined by Jane Lewis Orr, who is the executive director of the Professional Beauty Group. So very super influential and all-round passionate hairdressing and barbering ambassador. So Jane Lewis Orr will be joining us, as well as Meg Piper, who you may have seen with us already in London and Manchester and Salon International. She's part of Adam Garland's art team. She is a really fantastic session stylist. So yeah, I think that we hope, if you haven't been along to a tour, that any of these future dates that you can get along to, because we are absolutely loving sharing all of this creativity with everybody. So yeah, links are in chats to join us.
Brilliant. And just to kind of bring you up on a couple of industry events that we've got. Nicola, do you want to talk about the audience?
Yes, so if you've been joining the meetings for the last few, I've been talking about bringing together an audience with Andrew Barnton, and I can finally say, hot off the press, yesterday we confirmed it, and we are hosting at Leeds City College an audience with Andrew Barnton on the 12th of March. Now, it's not even gone up on Eventbrite yet, but we will be putting it up by the end of the week. This is an amazing opportunity to see an industry icon in action. Andrew is going to be doing, I'm going to be doing an up close and personal with him. We're going to be talking about all areas of his illustrious career, but also he is going to be doing a trends prediction presentation He's got 4 haircuts that he's going to be working through. So it's a not to be missed this. So as a collective community, we will be making sure we send you out VIP invites. I should add, this event is complimentary, so we are not charging for this. What a great opportunity to see, as I say, one of our industry greats. So hopefully we will see you there for that one.
Yeah, and then on Sunday, the 24th of March, we have Gary Spencer's Great British Barber Bash, and that's at the that's a London event, and they're absolutely outstanding. So if you've got learners that you really, like Don was saying this morning, you want to immerse them in the industry, there are barbers that are demonstrating all around the room. Then they have the main stage with demonstration going on, and they also have live competitions there as well. So if you want to attend that, that is at the Big Penny Social, that's in East London, and the website for that is the greatbritishbarberbash.co.uk. And our next meeting, so our next online meeting will be Wednesday, the 28th of February at 10 o'clock again, and we will have special guests as well that we will be confirming in the next couple of weeks. And also, finally, we've mentioned about getting your feedback with regards to the online collective or anything. So we've got our follow us handles here. So you've got our email addresses, you've got our Instagram accounts, and also our LinkedIn. So please reach out to us. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you would like to see for the future. Any ideas that you got, please share those with us. And Nicola.
So that's it for today. I think we've packed a lot in to the first meeting of 2024. A massive thank you to everybody for joining us today. We really hope that you have enjoyed our first meeting of the year, and a big thank you again to our special guests, Dom Lehane and Craig Henderson. We will look forward to seeing you at a collective live event somewhere soon. Alternatively, we will see you here on the 28th of February. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining us.
Brilliant. And again, thank you so much for joining us. I have just put as well Craig's Instagram account into the chat there. So if you want to directly contact him, you can message him. And he can give you details of that brilliant workshop that he's got up and running now. And a massive thank you and goodbye to everybody. And we will either see you at our live events or our next online event. Thank you.